Good afternoon, all. CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Thursday afternoon, March 21st. Looking at Window Trader's market profile of the ES and NQ. First off, if you didn't watch my morning video, I recommend you watch it. Doesn't have to be today. Watch it over the weekend. It had more to do with not with today's action, but what transpired yesterday and what's going on. So I would recommend for you to watch it. To those who did, thank you very much for the comments and the likes. So I think it's important that people do watch it. Another banner day for the Bulls. Now, they got very tired. There's no doubt about that. There's a lot to talk about. First, I'm going to start with Righty. Righty gets their second perfect point of control of the year. 13 time frames. They traded at a specific price. Their other one was on January 4th. They're the only one to do it this year out of our three indices. They go out with a gap, an afternoon pullback in G, and the Y and the perfect point of control. Okay? NQ goes out with a gap and the day's high and low, and that's it. And I believe the low is poor. Now, the gap was huge, took back a lot of it, but still held on to it by about 50 points or so. The one thing that's different, and it's a huge difference between NQ and ES is up on all three time frames. NQ stretched their balance high today on the weekly. Now, you can say that on the daily also, and we'll go to the charts, but you could also give the Bulls their due since they held the gap. And when we go to the charts, I'll show you. But for sure, all they did on the weekly was stretch the balance high. Okay? So it's going to be very important going forward for Bulls and NQ to take out today's high. Otherwise, there is the danger of rolling over to the balance low, which is about $13, $14 lower from the balance high. It's not the end of the world, but that's what could happen. For us, we go out, which is today's high and low. We actually price probe, but small. In fact, that little push down put our range still tied for the fourth smallest range of the year, $2.20. And that was on March 4th. So a couple of days in March, we've had two of our smallest ranges of the year. Our volume right now, very light, but it's not going to be in the lightest of the year. And that shouldn't be. It's not going to be much more, but it shouldn't be. We held our gap. It took a monumental effort for the Bulls to take out the IB high. They were poor. A, B, C. E couldn't do it. F finally did it. G even made a new high, and you got crickets. And after you made that high, what happened? You got a reversal bar. We one time framed down all afternoon, except for M briefly stopping it. We couldn't even get 9 wide. However, the other side of that coin is our POC did get lowered, but it couldn't get lowered anymore. It stayed at 8 wide, and our volume POC stayed up here. Didn't come close to getting lowered. In fact, you only have one purple bar below half back. So even though the market pushed lower for 2-3 hours, they didn't get much. Okay? Again, mostly long liquidation early on when we came down in GHI. But then after that, I'm sure short start jumping in the water below the IB low to try to push lower. Had a good day. I didn't do anything after I period. Because I kind of went neutral, right? I was pretty much in bull mode, but went neutral when we started coming in. My first trades of the day was in NQ, in A period, and did very, very well for a bunch of reasons. I was long, and this is why I was long in A period in NQ. Even though it got below the opening. We had gotten the overnight high. We were above the 144 simple moving average. We had the gap in value. So any push lower in A was being met with a nice push back up. So A period is very nice. So is B period with the ebb and flow. NQ really wasn't doing anything. Had a very small range, and the ebb and flow just wasn't there for me. So A and B were very nice in NQ. Then, when C took out A's low in NQ, I did not think we were going to go trend down with the gap and value and the indices and everything else. So I took a long and did well on that. Then when we went back up, I was like, well, we did take out the IB low, and I took a short, and I should have been a little more patient with this. I took a short in NQ against the 144. It did go against me. I took it off for a loss, 10-point loss. However, it did roll back over, but that's fine. D period, I also longed NQ with the new low, saying I don't believe we're going trend down. That worked out. Then in E period, when we pushed up in NQ, I shorted against the opening, which worked. Worked the first time, then we finally got the opening. And then in F period, I also shorted NQ at F's high, saying even if we take out A's high, I don't believe we're going trend. Now, the reason I didn't short ES up there is because we hadn't taken out an IB yet. So now, I know we take out both sides of the IB a lot, and we did today. But and at that point in NQ, I was like, well, we got the IB low. I don't think they're going to get much for their efforts if they do take out A's high. They never did. It worked. Then in H and I in ES, I bought pullbacks. They both worked. It worked in H period. I got paid. And it worked in I period. I'm like, I don't think we're going trend in I. Took the long. It went back up. And then in NQ, I also longed I's low, which at the time was at value low, which also worked for me. But then after that, they kept pushing. The only other trade I might have considered was in K period for a short in both of these against both J's high. They would have been good risk-reward shorts. But I still didn't think the sellers were that strong. And that's why I did not do that. But they would have both paid pretty nicely, actually. But my mindset was still on, I thought we would stop the one-time framing and go back and get wider point of controls. I was a little surprised we didn't. But good day overall, and we saw the market well also. As far as destinations go, our upside one and only one, 524.11. Our downside, only one today, 521.91, and then filling the gap at 520.62. $1.29 gap still. In ES, we have our all-time high at 22.75, and then we have today's low of 300 on the nose, and filling the gap at 89.50. Excuse me, this cough, I don't know when it's ever going to go away. Now, let's look at the charts. So let's just look at the weekly and daily, and I want to show you NQ, triple Q and NQ. So here's ES and SPY. 12, is it 11? I've lost count. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 weeks. And 20 out of 21. One time framing up in SPY. Now it's a little different in ES. Came out an inside week to the upside and got distance. Remember we said we were in balance? Well, how are we going to come out of it? Well, we've come out of it to the upside. Look at the daily. Not only did we come out of it to the upside yesterday, we gapped high today and held it. Now, the range is horrendous. The volume is horrendous. But the bottom line is, we're still up. So, again, until something changes, which would be taking out a daily low, they're still up. I think at some point it would be really healthy to take out some of these weekly lows, without a doubt. Maybe next week we take out 4 weeks worth of lows, right? Would that be unhealthy? Of course not. Come into some real good balance and then come out of that strong into the upside. Now I want to show you NQ and triple Q. So here's the weekly. This is balance. Yes, we took out and made an all-time high, but to me, it's a 4-week balance. We just stretched it. So that's going to be critically important for them to try to get back up. Otherwise, they could rotate to the bottom of their balance, which is about $13 lower. Okay? Now, the daily, you want to give the bulls their due with the gap. I have no problem with that. So you want to call the daily up? Again, no problem with that at all in triple Qs and NQ. I hope you had a good day trading. I mean, we do a lot of discussing in our trading room throughout the day when it slows down and whatnot on a lot of different topics, market related. It's for $1 a day, my friends. So come and check us out at countbacktrading.org. Thank you very much for liking and subscribing to this channel. And we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.